Yeah, we're back.
Pretty tired.
Yeah. Yep.
That's my fault, guys. Sorry I'm late.
It's all right. I've been drinking whiskey for 2 hours waiting for you.
Yep. It's difficult to get everyone on the same track, but here we are.
Busy boys.
Number 5. Feels like we've done 10, by the way. I was looking at it today and I had a little throwback to the 4th episode, and I was like, geez, I've only done 4 of these freaking things. It feels like we've done heaps.
I'm still somewhat surprised we've done 4 and we're currently doing our 5th, though, to be honest.
We're using recent content here, boys. What are we doing? Are we talking?
Talking to your mic, mate.
Are we
We're
live or what? Are we live? Shows you how I'm off with the fairies.
Yeah, the music's already played.
Is it?
You've had too much whiskey as well, mate.
Mate, that Japanese
I'm like,
whiskey is
what's
going
he
down the
doing?
tree today. I'm waiting for me to go, let's get it going. And next minute, I'm like, what's going on
we
here?
went without you. You're asleep in the corner tonight.
Yeah, we've gone rogue.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm over here when you need me.
I'm the odd one out. I've got the jar. Everyone else has got a glass. But how are we enjoying the whiskey? We know how that worked for us last
The
time.
liquid crack is going down extremely well tonight.
It's dangerous. Very dangerous.
Yep.
We've had a few cappers. We did start off a bit over schedule, but no,
We're good to go.
we are extremely well and truly ready to go.
Episode 5, where are we going? What's up?
There's
just
a lot to
wanted to-
talk about.
I just
There's a
wanted to
lot
bring
going
up
on
a
at the
couple of
moment.
things. The first one, and I was going to leave it as a little bit of surprise. Our mate in Cameroon has touched base.
No way.
No, he hasn't. He's listened again.
You got me.
He's
You
listened
got
again.
me.
He's listened again though to all 4.
All 4.
So
Fuck, he must have a
if
lot
you-
of time on his
if
hands.
If you got us on the gram, Mr. Cameroon, get in touch. We want to know
If you
who the
don't
hell
have
you
us
are.
on the gram, find us, hit us up.
Troughs.
I dangled the carrot there, and everyone bit it.
Do we have
hard.
any more to add to the list?
A little bit of Eastern Europe,
How far? Bratislava?
almost Transylvania, but not that far. It's hard. The geography's a bit off. But we're a couple in Tassie now, so we're getting out there.
We've hit Tassie.
We've hit Tassie. We've finally crossed the seas.
Hopefully
did
it's
you
our
think of
friends
the-
at Freemile.
What do you guys think of the Mount Lawley with the Aussie shaped, obviously, continent green that they've got building a Mount Lawley with? Is it OCM who's doing it?
I would not know, mate,
I
but
think
I've
that they're
seen it. It
making
looks
an
unreal.
Aussie
I've seen
Green.
the images because it's a replica of the.
Aussie iconic continents.
Yeah.
I just want to know what
it's
they're going to
been
do with
done-
Tassie.
It's been done before, though, hasn't it?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's
First time I've seen it, but they've done it before. Then.
Is there a bunker?
I just want to know what they're
and
going to
Bass
do with
Strait?
I thought it
Tassie.
was a recreation, but I could be
Is the
wrong.
bunker going to be Tassie, or is the green going to be
The bunker's got to be Bass Strait, surely. Just a patch of grass.
I haven't even
So-
seen it.
Maybe
so.
just a little. Tassie might be just a little merkin of fairway.
Ah,
Hey, we want to keep some Tassie followers, mate.
Tassie's mint. If anyone's played golf in Tassie, you know
7
how
Mile
good.
looks
Oh,
unbelievable,
I
by the
called it
way.
3 Mile before. That was
yeah,
better than 8 Mile.
Halfway there, mate.
yeah,
Halfway there.
Not quite halfway.
7.5 miles.
I think Gogs is down there, isn't he? I think he's running the joint. Because I bought a couple of hats from him, and they had to get them from the ship from
Matty
the US.
Goggin.
Yeah, Matty Goggin.
He's a good guy.
And I ordered 2 hats from them. Sent me the wrong ones. Fair play to them. I've got to keep those, but had to get some other ones shipped over.
So what you're saying is you got some hats for us.
Yeah, I do.
It'd be interesting
Like
to see
the
when
one
it
on your
opens.
head at the moment.
No, this is a special AliExpress with the logo straight on. I got one for each one of you guys. I just thought
Are
I'd
we
just
running it?
take
Are
and
we
wear
running it? I just didn't want to. Yeah, I didn't want all of us to wear it. It's just that's a bit overkill.
I think Jay and I actually text each
You
other.
got the
before.
We're
memo.
actually matching tonight, aren't we?
I
You
had a
gotta
bit of
get your
a-
wife down and
My
get her
wife
on
had
the
this
couch. You're all wearing the same
we had
outfit.
this spinning pink image top on, and I
Well,
thought,
it's funny. I did have a little dip, and we looked at back in the reels. I did have a little dip at the old pink jacket, didn't I? And here we are.
we had some JL inspiration, mate.
Who'd have thought?
Here we are. Oh God.
I tell you what, there was a few boys that I know that actually went to the Open and actually made comments about you guys can't be serious about that JL collection at the Open. Seriously.
Any investments yet, or are you just trying to figure out?
Not
Get it on
not yet.
sale.
Not yet.
Does Drummond
The
Golf
guy's
stock it? They
working
got
7 days
50%
a
off
week. He's
apparel
got
at
no
the
time
moment.
to
Yeah.
scratch his ass, let alone buy some JL stuff.
8 days a week hurts. Hey.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. Oh, they'll be on a discount rack somewhere, surely. Wonder if they reach the shores. Have we heard of any Australian stockists?
Yeah, I think there definitely is. Got an email recently.
Oof. Woof.
Not dropping any brand names here.
Yeah, fair enough.
Not until they reach out to me.
Yeah, cool. Oh, nice.
Sorry, I'm just disappearing into this couch again.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
liking
good
it.
couch.
Why didn't I do this last time? I'm ready. Well, I'm ready to go. I'm enjoying it.
Mate, do you know how many times I've slept in that section there where my wife's just come down the next morning and just gone, didn't you bother coming to bed? Nah.
I'd sleep on that.
I could watch
Every
the Open.
night.
I could watch the Open from here, easy.
Oh, mate, I tell you what, the last July is probably the perfect month for us because you got every second year because you got the Ashes, then you got the Open, and then whatever other sport that you want to watch.
Women's World Cup.
FedEx playoffs.
Oh, mate.
From actually, that's all. We're in August, aren't we? I forgot
I'll tell you
where
what,
we were.
the schedule for the next 6 to 8 weeks for these guys is brutal.
For some of them, not for all of them.
No, JT, no. JT's going to have it. JT's going to
Wow,
have the
you
next
called-
8 weeks
JT's
off.
got himself a nice little vacay, baby.
You did call it.
We did.
You were probably the first person to break it, actually.
If imagine he gets a captain's pick.
There's going to be plenty
I
of
wouldn't
people.
be surprised, but he's not deserving.
There'll be plenty of people ahead of him, but yeah.
Did you guys notice how much the media just started picking up on JT? It's like, look, he's grinding on the Saturday. He's come back in. I was like, that's what you're supposed to do, mate. You're a tall professional getting paid millions of dollars. You miss a cat, you get back on the range, pal, until you find something.
Well, Horschel's gone. He's done a complete 180, hasn't he? Horschel was, the Stephen Bowditch having 80s for fun. And
Crying in interviews.
Now he finished tied fourth in the last tournament, so.
I'd love 80s for fun.
Yeah, me too.
80s is more relatable to us than just like you guys are
Yeah,
humans.
yeah, for some of us.
You played bogey golf the other week. You know, I've actually got a bit of a pet peeve with coverages because they show all these good shots. I was like, no, fuck you guys. Show us these guys shanking, missing chips, missing putts. I think it's more relatable with that sort of TV.
Well, that's a good
Exposure.
segue to our
Especially
first.
to the audience.
That's a good segue to our first dot point. What is the average golfer? In everyone's opinion, what is the average golfer in the modern game? Obviously, we're seeing a lot. Well, from my point of view, from a work side, I'm seeing a shit ton more people come in from footy, cricket. Like they've had enough of the team sports. COVID obviously has just ruined that for most people. They're playing golf, so I'm seeing a lot more choppers coming into it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like with the growth of golf in the last couple of years, and a lot more people, joining and playing, the average golfer is probably, 20 handicap, something like that.
Because it's shit show because you'll have an awesome round and you just know at the end of the day, some chopper's going to come in of 22 and have 45 points. And you just go, I've just had the round of my life. 42 points and some chopper on 25 or 20. You probably attest to this, you bastard.
I've come close. But I just go back to our old friend we spoke about last time, Blicker, when he first got his handicap and he came out. What did he shoot that round at Paddo?
He had 46 or
46
47
46 points, and his handicap dropped like 15
Yeah, he went
points. or
from
something.
22 to 14 or something overnight.
with
Quick
his,
of a-
with his first registered
Yeah.
round of
It
golf.
always happens. There's a guy here in Sanders, he shot 9 deep, right? T-Pain, pass arms, we call him. At 9
Pass arms.
Pass arms, because he's this big guy, hits it, the ball goes fucking nowhere because they just called him pass arms.
Oh, God.
Pass arms. He had his 7th hole in one on the weekend.
Wait, what?
He's had 7 hole in ones.
This is horse shit.
I know, 7 hole in ones.
Where's the evidence?
I've seen one of them, to be honest with you. But he shot 9 deep off the stick, and he came second on a countback to a bloke playing off 27.
Oh. Well,
I love the handicap system. As an average golfer myself,
Oh.
all for it.
we're seeing on the work front average fitted handicaps around 17 to
I was about
20.
to say mid 17s.
Yeah, and that's who we're seeing the most of.
But
which
that's
is
people
surprising.
making the effort to come and get
Correct,
fitted
yeah, and
to
I think
golf
there's a lot
clubs.
of golfers. There's a lot of golfers in the shadows that are 30 plus that
Yeah, but
almost
they go
don't
play.
want to.
They go play a Royal Sky or Royal Centenary, where they're like, "Oh, let me go here. I don't want to play with too many serious people because they kind of feel a little bit intimidated."
It's interesting how it works, but
And
yeah,
what are you fitting him with, Ben? Are you
into premium products.
Nothing but blades are home.
Yeah.
T-dubs.
I've
Shock
had a couple of
absorbers.
high handicappers want blades, so and yeah, customers are always right. So if they want them, they get them. They will also quit golf within 6 months. I almost guarantee it.
I think the dishwasher's done.
But
It's better than the dog
it's funny.
barking last time.
You probably won't
I
even
believe
hear that
you
on the
last
mic.
time to get the dog out of the garage.
Yeah, but we're seeing a massive boom in, I guess, joining memberships, and to be honest, they're not going to be the seasoned everyday golfers,
But
are
I've
they?
also heard the average golfer tends to not break 100. So where does that handicap sit? That's got to. I'm not good with maths.
That's
but
28.
Yeah, 28. So that blows that out of
Well,
the
if you
water
think
as
about
well.
it, if you're playing off like a 10 handicap, how many times do you actually play to your handicap?
Well, don't they say you only play to your handicap every 5 rounds on
So if
average?
someone's playing off a 10 handicap and you have, 33 points, playing 13. So, again, the handicaps, when I look at someone's handicap and they're playing off, say, like 10, I was like, okay, cool, he's probably going to have like 12, 15 over from that point.
Yep.
So, I mean, the more single digits you further you go down, how many times do they actually play to that handicap? Because you just need one bad hole and you're pretty much screwed.
My
So-
biggest gripe is
I know. I know.
my
Better
biggest
go 3 bad
gripe
holes
is
in me at the moment.
playing off the soft blues, shooting the lights out. 39 points. That's good for me. I didn't snap a club or throw a club in that round.
Where was this?
Royal Patterson River, the DT.
What a track.
This is not too long ago. This is definitely this year. And I lost on a countback to a guy that played
I do remember this.
off the yellows, off the golds,
Off the junior tees.
29 handicap, and he beat me. Off the junior tees, which is obviously allowed at some places. And it's funny, obviously Paddo has it, and they brought it in. There's plenty of clubs that do it, but it's not common practice everywhere. They sort of bring it in as like the fairness thing. But if you're teeing it off halfway down the fairway, it is bullshit.
it happened to me
Oh no!
at Paddo as well.
I
So
think this was in the same week.
it was the day.
Are we giving Paddo a good run here or not?
I just think
I love
bullshit.
Paddo.
Anyway,
Underrated.
It's
But-
bigger than
but
it's
someone-
bigger than the
someone
golf
playing
course,
the
but
golf-
It's quite a common occurrence, and it's funny. Now we're talking about the average golfer. It's the guy that's probably beyond that a little bit further. That's just having like a glory round out of nowhere.
the guy I lost to that day played off the gold tees. He was a scratch golfer, and I lost on a countback.
He better have been
Hang on.
playing
If
with
he
his
was a
son.
scratch golfer and he's playing off the gold tees,
He was
did you
giving
not have
shots
like
back.
playoff plus or something that day?
Yeah,
Yeah, but he's playing shots, par fours from 150 out. Like he's going to put it within 2 foot.
Valid point. Valid
the
point.
slope and all the ratings of it. It's still I'm up in the air with it. Like we've had chats where it's like, what do you want to play today? And we always end up on the blues because you feel that's the most challenging. Really.
Hey, but then it's coming. This will tie into our sort of next segment with Bryson DeChambeau with playing off, like he said, is like go play off the forward tees and teach yourself, get into that mindset of, hey, I've got to make birdies and see how many birdies I can make from that point. Which I don't mind to training yourself to attack pins and from that yardage, but it'd be different mindset. I mean, if it's off the gold tees, if you're going to say something of 10, I imagine you drop to like a 5 or.
You'd expect it to be more.
Yeah.
I don't know. We played a 9-hole comp off the golds once, and it wasn't nearly as easy
was
as I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, it
I
was
struggled.
actually.
Kato, you're not used to
harder
going
than-
into greens with wedges, mate. Let's
Yeah.
be honest, yeah.
He's probably pretty tricky to tee off with a lob wedge, isn't it?
One of the par threes, I was like, I teed my ball up and then looked up, and the green was about 30 metres in front of me.
Yeah.
And they're probably the hardest golf shots
Mate, they
that
were
we have, isn't it?
Literally, like the short game it's obviously a struggle for many people, and you think, oh yeah, how good's this teeing off
But
from 30
it is
metres
a
out?
good feeling driving the green on a par 4, isn't
Yeah,
it?
It's the only time it's going to happen for me personally, but
Speaking of DeChambeau, as I like to call him,
the pitch and putt champion.
58 or not? Is that a genuine 58 or non-genuine weight of genuine 58? I think that's what we need to establish.
What was it, past 70?
It's
Take
a
it
past
to-
70.
Take a deep breath, birds.
Shot 58. I agree with Birds here. Technically, you can't shoot a 58 unless it's a past 72.
Well, you can shoot a 58, but it doesn't count to be
It's
a
false
58.
advertising.
Yeah.
It's false
The
advertising.
sliding scale comes in, adjusted 60.
That's like me giving you a
Take a
30-year
sip,
loan
have a
term.
breath.
That's like me giving you a 30-year loan term, right? Dropping your repayment
I
instead of
told you this is a
25 years.
touchy subject right now.
I think, right, so technically, if you're past 70, you shoot 58. In my honest opinion, you've shot a 60. How many pros have shot 60 who've either lipped out, missed a putt, or lipped out for eagle, which could have made a 59? Or
How many
50?
times have you shot 58?
On Tiger Woods PGA Tour? Heaps.
I actually came pretty
Heaps.
close in our retro round, but it was only for 9 holes.
9 holes,
I think we've all done that
We've
before.
all done that up to 9. But no, do you agree, Perts? I mean,
I 100% agree, mate. 100%. Like, boasting about shooting 58 on a par 70. Like, there's so many golfers out there that have shot 60.
wait, 100% agree with you.
The Fury
If it's
was
a
all over it.
72, if it's a 72, I take my head off to you too. But at the end of the day, you shot a 60.
Pretty tough conditions.
Thank you.
The rain was coming
Look,
down.
to be fair to him, he did have to shoot it, but
And the putt on 18, it was...
That was a
That
phenomenal
was a monster.
putt.
That was
That
a
was
monster putt.
that
That
was
was a
big.
good putt to
hey,
finish it.
if he didn't make a bogey, mate, we would have a different conversation in
You're
that
saying
round.
one stroke would be a different
But
conversation.
how many, coming back to Purge's point, how many blokes have shot 60 that have had one shot where it's lipped out or he's had a bad lie or whatever, he's missed lipped out for eagle, that would have been the difference between a 60 or a 59 or a 58?
Then we'd have another Mr. 57.
Yeah, true.
Shout out to Murph, the great
57.
man.
The forgotten
purist.
man. The purist. The purist.
Yeah.
He-
The
he's-
bag collector.
I'll tell you
Is there
what,
another bag
Golf
collector?
bag, golf bag collector.
mate, he's got all 4
I
major
thought
bags.
you were the bag collector.
I'm the bag collector. But he's got all 4 major bags this year. So all from
I think this,
TaylorMade.
that'll be a trend that continues
Yeah.
from what I gather.
We're going to get
yeah.
out on that track.
Well, mind you, his rotation of the putters at the moment have been
That's all right.
very
You
sporadic
can
at the
dabble.
moment.
You can dabble. That's fine.
Okay, it's
I got
just-
6 of the bastards. So
And you don't know how to use any of them.
correct. Guilty.
How'd you go yesterday, trialing? Or yesterday or today? When was it?
Sabo, yeah, went out and had a roll. First one, probably 20-foot pass, but yeah, we got the pace. We just didn't get any direction. So I'm just going to bank on the ability to get it somewhat close, and then just try and gimme the next one.
I'm more than happy to give you some lessons.
Fingers crossed the gimmies for par most of the time.
What is a gimme? What is a reasonable gimme range?
10 feet.
I don't believe in gimmies.
No, it's
Putting
funny.
for birdie, no gimmies.
It's funny when I'm in a comp round, I couldn't care less in a stroke round, just a fuck around round. But when I'm in a comp round, it's when someone says, "Oh, you got to,
Here's one for
you can
you.
have that one," and I'm thinking to myself, "Yeah, but the rules don't." I'm
no,
never
no.
a stickler
Here's
for
one
the
for you.
rules.
The rules state that
I
there
feel
is
like
no
just going,
gimmies.
"Fuck it, I'll
Here's
pick it
one
up
for
anyway."
you. If someone says you can have that and you proceed to putt it and miss it, I'm sorry, you missed that.
That's a miss.
Oh,
That is a
100%.
miss.
You had a crack.
100%.
You had a
if
crack
you
at it.
say gimme,
You
I'm
had
pick your
the
ball,
opportunity
bugger off,
to pick your ball up.
and bugger off.
You don't get to take the gimme and then have a practice.
No, you can't have your cake in either. I'm sorry. If that was me, I'd be like, sorry, pal, tap that in, and I'm marking you for whatever it is.
Hands down. Couldn't agree more.
The amount of times I just like, oh, no, you gave me that. It's like, you didn't say you could practice.
Yeah,
But back to Bryson quickly. 58 with preferred lies on a pitch and putt course doesn't count. Is that what you're saying?
No. It looks good. It looks good in 58, but if you look
That
at it,
scorecard though, look,
look, to be fair, it was an impressive.
you got to
scorecard.
get it in the hole.
But how many 60s have been shot on the PGA Tour?
recently, probably not a lot.
Not that I really caught up on the score, but how far behind was he before that round began?
I don't think you finished like 2 shots in the lead after that.
Okay, so yeah.
I was looking at
So he hasn't come from he's come from back.
He's come from a fairway
If he
action.
shot,
Well, if
he
you're going
shot
12 deep, you
12 deep,
you've
how
come.
far behind has he come from? Because you either think he's won by a landslide or it's a couple.
Interesting, hey? Oh well, you still got to get in the hole, but yeah, it's he's a
speaking
proper,
of,
he's a smasher.
Speaking of smashing, Brooks Koepka, new child.
Game over.
Game over.
New child, no
as I say,
game.
there's 3 Fs: frothies, fanning, fatherhood, and ruin your golf game.
Can't believe you just said that.
You are
Can you,
100%
can, you
correct.
say, can you say that again?
Nah,
One hit wonder.
just press 15 seconds, rewind back, you'll hear it. He's cooked, I reckon. And
Wait.
6 weeks early.
Well, this is
Hopefully the baby's
this is
all
where
good, but 6
this
weeks
is where
early.
is his desire and hunger to win is going to be questioned more than ever because you've got a shitload of money, you're pretty comfortable, you've got 5 majors, you've got a kid.
Why does he need to win again? He's taken a major out this year. He's banked some checks, some serious checks.
Well, this is coming back to
He's
my
wore-
point. Like,
he's wore
how
the
much
pink
is
jacket.
his desire to go to that next level to
Well,
get
he
the
went.
next match?
He played on the weekend, so
He's worn the pink jacket, so he's done all he needs to do this year. Dangle the
Like,
carrot.
seriously, but if he comes out next year and wins a shit ton, I'm going to take my hat off to the guy, seriously. Because he's outshone DJ, Spieth, Rory in this modern era of winning 5 majors.
Yep.
And
It's a
he's
big
got
job.
he's got $150 million in the bank.
And he hits
Kid.
way down on it.
I
which is
don't
rare.
think we've seen the end of him. Definitely don't think we've seen the end
I
of him.
think his ruthless aggression is probably what has separated him winning from 5 majors than just winning the one and just being content with it.
We saw what happened when Ricky had a kid, though.
Big Dick Rick.
Coming back, I wanted to talk
The
about
biggest.
this, right? You've got
FedEx-
Ricky,
2023
you've got Ricky,
FedEx champion.
you've got Jordan Spieth, JT, Smiley Kaufman is obviously injury, I think. Ricky went through the bad times. He's gone through it. Jordan went through the bad times. Now it's JT's turn to go through the bad times.
Yep.
So I think it's a little bit of a, I don't know if there's some voodoo doll going around.
I
but
think it just happens to everyone.
Yeah, they're constantly searching, aren't they? The best example and the segue into which golfer made you fall in love with the game, the big T-Dub for me, number 1 in the world. At one point, Al Donald was actually better than him.
Mate, Lukey Don
Jet.
went through a stretch where he was just like, his
He was the
short
Jet,
game is
wasn't he? And it's funny,
phenomenal.
I don't really remember a heap of that time, but it wasn't that long ago in reality. But he was actually number 1 in the world before Tiger
2010.
in certain points, and you look at it and go, why did it just fall off a cliff? And he tried to change stuff. You get a lesson and you cooked. It's like,
I mean, Tiger's the one advocate where he's gone through multiple swing changes throughout his career.
I'm good, mate.
The one who I grew up idolizing as a kid was the Big Easy. Obviously, growing up in South Africa, mate, that used to worship the ground. That bloke used to
Yep.
Big Easy. Oh, mate,
That's my
Ernie.
swing. He's my swing idol.
mate,
Easy.
him, and Retief Goosen.
Tempo Town, isn't it?
Oh, smooth as.
Funny story about Retief Goosen, right? So he grew up in a town called Bloemfontein, which is in the dead set middle.
Say that again.
Yeah, where do you grow up?
Bloemfontein. In the dead set middle of South Africa, it's called the Orange Free State, right? That's where he's from. And he used to go out and play, and I shit you not, you can Google this, right? He went out and played, and he actually got struck by lightning with his golf clubs. And actually, the golf clubs had actually melted whilst he was playing Retief. He's got scars all over his body being struck by lightning playing golf in South Africa.
Crazy.
Unbelievable.
In Bloemfontein.
What about you, Pig? What got you into it from a professional standpoint? Who was it?
There's probably a bit of a before the professional side of things. My grandfather obviously was speaking about that in previous episodes, but as a member of some prestigious golf clubs back in his day, I used to get tickets to attend events, and that's where I first came across Aaron Badley
Oh, the bats.
and his dress sense back in the day.
Still good.
Oh, to this day, still good. But
Great hair.
back then, he just stood out from the crowd,
Mate,
and I
I think we could all take a lesson out
all
of his
for
putting
that.
skills.
100%. But the
I'm
way
not too sure about the Sunday church services on the 9th green, on the 18th green on Sundays.
with his
So-
37 children. But yeah, for me, it was Aaron Badley when I was a young kid getting around watching some of the
I
tournaments.
swear I saw him at a Heineken Classic. Michael Campbell, the Big Easy, and yeah, Bads was there.
I'm trying to
Oh, that
remember.
back
Talk
to
about-
back.
talk
was
about
it
a bloke
Huntingdale?
who disappeared.
The MasterCard Masters or something
Yeah, that would have been a Huntingdale.
at Huntingdale. I think
Yeah.
that was where I first crossed his path, and
Yeah, unreal.
What about Michael
Followed him for a
Campbell?
day.
Won that US
Yeah.
Open in Pinehurst. After that, was it 17, the par 3 down the hill?
God knows.
Where he stiffed this. It must have been a 4, I remember from memory, and then just disappeared off the face of the earth. I think he got to the point where he just rocked up. He was a weekday golfer, not a weekend golfer.
might have been drinking the liquid crack.
How unfortunate.
I don't think it was a liquid crack. I think it was just anxiety and everything that he was dealing with.
What about you, Perds?
John Daly, mate.
Oh,
The king.
You know,
absolute weapon.
the cigarette out the mouth,
Just the
standing
opposite-
over the ball.
The opposite
Just the
lifestyle to
complete
everyone else.
opposite to everyone else out there.
I still enjoy playing around and just pretending like I'm John Daly.
I think one of my favourite stories I've heard of JT, where he talks openly about this, where he's standing there and he's just drinking away at midday. Tiger walks past and he goes, "I'm going to hit some balls." He's going to hit balls for like 4 or 5 hours. Come back and he's like, still drinking. He's like, "Tiger, come have a drink with us." And he goes, "John Daly, if I had your talent, I would win X amount of majors." And he's just drinking away, rocks up. Tiger's gone to the gym, hit all these balls, and he's like shot 65. Tiger's on 71.
He beat him the next day, didn't he? Great.
Well, if anyone's
Probably went to
got
Hooters after that as well.
if anyone's got KO out there, there's a 30 for 30 or ESPN. There's a 30 for 30 on John Daly
My
called
favourite.
Grip It and Rip It.
Easily
need to
my
watch
favourite
this.
episode.
It's so good.
Have you not seen
I've
it?
not watched this.
Dennis Rodman's good outside of golf, but John Daly's 30 for 30 is off the Richter.
Is that why he says you can't pull fat? That's why he never gets injured.
He's
But there's
an
actually a
absolute
clip.
weapon.
I'm not giving away too much, but there's actually a clip where it's a final round. I think he's about 4 or 5 shots back. There's a rain delay, and he walks into the bar at the golf club, and he basically tells his caddy to like cover the door. And there's a bartender in the bar, and they block the door. The caddy blocks the door from anyone coming in, and he just gets absolutely hammered and goes out and shoots like 6 red from the last 7 holes to win the tournament.
It's
completely blind.
a great doco.
Yeah, definitely
I'd
do
love to
yourselves a
see-
favour, everyone.
I'd love to see the Dailies versus the Woods in like the match. You know,
Oh,
you got a
yeah.
celebrity match.
Hopefully we get it again.
Well, the PNC we got to wait for every year, but you know,
Hopefully the big cat
Dailies
gets
beat the Dailies beat.
They
Dailies
definitely
won a
need
match.
carts.
Well, it's funny how I
and
gravitate.
for good reason, because
I think the dads always walk the carts, and then the 2 young fellas can walk.
John, surely you've heard John Daly's consumption on a golf course.
Give it to
Enlighten me.
us.
Enlighten-
21 cigarettes,
Yep.
12 Diet Cokes,
Yep.
and 6 packs of peanut M&Ms, and not a drop of water. Absolute beast.
He claims he's never been hungover. He goes, "Why would you hang?
Yeah, he said
why
you
would
can't
go
get
to the next-
hangover if you just keep drinking.
True, true.
There's a method to the madness.
He also tells you not to mix your drinks. Pick your drink, whatever your
No
first
sugar.
one is.
Yeah.
Continue to drink that all night, and you'll be sweet.
It's funny how
I cooked that already.
It's funny how like in that era, Tiger just flips it and is like, I'm going to run 10 miles. I'm going to play basketball with Michael Jordan. I'm going to be like as robotic and
I'm gonna
aerobic
do
as I
SEAL
can
training.
be. And then John Daly's out there just still shelling peas with a
Punching darts,
Yeah.
drinking Diet Cokes.
absolutely crushing it. But it's I probably went a bit too far with Tiger, because Tiger's probably the most generic answer you can give. But I used to be a range boy at Victoria, a range rat. Used to pick up the golf balls, drive the golf
Tell you
cart,
what,
and I got a call up one afternoon. I got a call up to join a 4-ball, and they were on the first tee. Brian Simpson, the old pro at Victoria's, come out on the range. He's like, "We need someone to have a hit with these guys," and I'm sitting there going, I'm not really swinging that good. I was probably 15, 16 at the time. Jeff Ogilvy's on the tee. Paul Sheehan's on the tee. Christian Peterson, one of the guys that used to work there, is on the tee as well. And then I'm the 4. And I'm out there. Shio's throwing darts at every pin. Ogilvy's absolutely shooting the lights out. The next year wins the US Open. And that was like, I just went from like 0 to as north as I can get.
How have I never heard this story before?
You never heard that?
No.
Oh, it was unreal. But it happened like it's a distant memory in my brain. But there's certain shots on that course where I just think, God, like, I just saw probably Ogilvy borderline at his
Did
prime.
Ogilvy give you any tips? Because he strikes
Can't
me as the
remember anything.
strikes me as the bloke who put your arm around you and was like, give you a bit of a cuddle.
If he did, they have not stuck because I'm cooked.
Well, it sounds like you're good mates with him, so we'll get him on the next pod and we'll ask him a couple of questions.
I'll tell you what, when I played Victoria, I was very impressed with what they did with the greens lately.
Unreal.
Pure distinction.
Yep.
Very impressed.
Yep.
Thanks
It
for the
looks
invite.
good. Yep.
Well, mind you, like, very
They
old school, Saturday, no tea times.
They sacrificed though.
To be fair, most golf clubs are back to that these days. It's
They sacrificed for that too because that course was like unplayable for 10 months, and the members, like, obviously the old blokes would always get pissed off. But
Short-term pain,
that
long-term
thing,
gain.
yeah, and then it gets them a tournament straight away. Like, they haven't had, and we've spoken about it before with the Aussie Open and stuff, but they've had like Vic Opens where people are walking off the golf course. They change the greens up, they redo everything, and they're getting like top tier events.
I must have been in year 10 or year 11 where Charles Howell, Rich Beam came down to play Victoria, and they actually, the year that they actually called it off because the greens were too hard, and they actually had to start watering because it would land on the green, springboard off, nothing was taking
just
any
like the old
purpose.
car path.
Oh, mate, it was that firm. They actually suspended play. The greens were unplayable. This was like
Well, you couldn't even mark your ball.
2002.
Peter O'Malley walked off, couldn't mark his ball.
No. That's when Appleby
Crazy.
and Allaby were
And
playing.
they didn't get a tournament for ages, so yeah, good luck. Well done to Vic, and good luck moving forward. But
Yeah,
what a
we-
track!
I'm surprised.
I look
Would
forward
they
to our
stick their
invite
hand
down
up
to
for a
play.
President's Cup at all, you reckon?
They got the facilities; they're really close to like infrastructure and stuff. Like when they had the Aussie Open, like you catch a train to Cheltenham Station, 5-minute walk, and you're on the golf course. Royal Cheltenham next door was the driving range. Unreal. Maybe one day.
On the PK first.
Can we get our
PK
media
PK
passes?
Yeah, we'll be in the
We
queue.
want media passes.
I just want a
mate.
media
He
pass.
wants a media pass.
I just want a lanyard with my
Yeah,
name.
I want a
on it.
lanyard
Is
that
too
says
much
Speaking
media
of
to
on it.
media, right? Have you guys, speaking of media, right? Have you guys noticed how many social media got? This is us excluded, right? Because I think we're very authentic and we speak our minds, right? There's too many vlogs on social media with golf at the moment.
We could be way more like negative on this sort of stuff. We sort
We
of
could
we
be.
gloss over it, but yeah, there's so many wankers out there.
I don't even want to comment on this whole situation.
I think it's changed. I think it's changed for the better though. Outside
It
of all that
has changed
stuff,
for the better, and there's a lot of people milking
it's
it.
way more accessible for like highlights.
It's
and
amazing
little
how
things
social
like that.
media and COVID have changed the whole landscape of golf, and how it's almost like there's a lot of swing tips out there on social media.
Yeah,
It's almost like they're taking the driving range. Your mate on the driving range is like, do this, and then they post a video, and he was like, I'm going to do that.
If you shut the face, you'll never hit it right again.
Wait, what was that? What was that tip?
Just
Let
shut
me
the
write
face.
it down.
Angle of attack, angle to the path.
If you're pulling the ball, just aim right. All right.
But it's funny, like you see a guy like on social media and be like, fuck, he stripes it, and you play with him and be like, okay, that's
not
take
what I-
6.
Because they only show the good bits. They record that. They might even tee it up out of the rough. Who knows?
Maybe it's because we're in it and the Maybe
2
because
syllables golf.
maybe because we're in it and the algorithm sort of sucks us into it as well. But like, it's a barrage every day.
I think-
It's just a barrage of golf
And
stuff.
do you know who this is actually
And
going to
beers.
benefit the most based on he's been doing this for so long? It's actually Mr. Shields. So he's been doing this for 10 years, and all of a sudden since COVID, everything's exploded. So he's got more eyeballs. So all the established guys are just going to get more and more and more eyeballs. but also at the same time, there's a lot of shit out there.
But it's funny, this is how the whole PIP thing started as well, because that was never a thing. Like you go back 10 years ago, they weren't talking about like a player impact thing, and Tiger still he wins the player impact, but he barely doesn't play a tournament.
Tiger will get that every year. He just has to show up at the Masters and that's him done. There's his 10 mil for the year.
It's unreal how that works. But
hey, Charlie, here's 10 mil for, here's your inheritance every year.
Yep. No, it becomes accessible, and you're seeing all the content from, I guess, the golf brands as well. TaylorMade's pretty big on it. All the other brands are following.
To be honest
suit.
with you, TaylorMade does it a lot better than a lot of the other brands because you get your market. I think you guys with TaylorMade with their model where you're not sponsoring every Tom, Dick, and Harry. You've got a core bit of players, and that's probably your unique proposition where we've got these core players, and we can do a lot more with these and trying to get everyone involved. And that's where you differentiate in terms of like with TaylorMade, where they do like hit the drone or here's the driver, chipping contest, etc., which is pretty cool, by the way.
Yep.
Instead of sponsoring every Tom, Dick, and
think
Harry.
And they got
budget.
Trotty front of house who
I
kills
love
it.
Trotty. Shout out to Trotty.
Yeah, Trotty's a legend, and Benji, one of the boys at TaylorMade, is good mates with him, and maybe that's someone we can try and sneak on here, but his time's very precious.
Is he a dad? He's
Trotty,
a dad, isn't he?
He is a dad,
Well, there you go.
golf dad.
Golf dad.
Yep, he's got.
There couldn't be a
two-
better first guest, I don't think.
Someone's going to make some calls, mate.
Woof. All right, Benji.
Woof.
If you listen
Woof.
to this bench, we're going to have to try and sort something out. All right.
Woof.
Wolf of
I've
Willows.
said woof like
Mind
10
you,
times
let's
already.
let's talk about guests, right?
What are you doing with your toes down there?
I'm getting a little bit comfortable, mate.
With your bloody hobbit toes.
There's more hair than toes on there. In terms of guests, right? I think we need to expand. I think we need to set the criteria in terms of what is a guest.
If we have a guest, he has to be a dad, surely.
Has to be. I think that
Has
has
to
to be a
be.
prerequisite. You can't be shooting blanks and come on here as a guest.
It's that makes sense. And we've got some friends in decent places at the moment, but if they're not, unfortunately, they have to be a dad and hopefully can swing a golf club somewhat okay.
Dad
I'm
has to
sitting
be a
here,
golf
I'm
club.
a dad and I can't swing a golf club, so that don't mean shit.
Hey, doesn't
There's
matter
always
how
one
you swing
exception.
it. Doesn't matter how you swing it, which way you swing it, as long as you're swinging.
Well, I know how I swing it. It's very over the top at the moment. So
Hey, as long
You're
as
an
it's over the
average
top and
golfer, Kane.
you can hit a power fade. All the best golfers hit a power fade. Langer, DJ, Tiger.
I
You
just,
know,
want to hit a draw one day.
Good draw, mate.
I've seen it every day. Everyone wants what they don't have, and the sooner you admit to yourself that that's what you hit, the better you'll play.
I just like
Power
to get the ball
fades.
off the ground.
Power fades.
I'll tell you what, though, I played on the weekend, and that was the first time in, I don't know, 2 months, eh?
Mate, you've been working 14-hour days every day of the week.
I
mate.
tell you what, though, like being out there and playing and not playing often, you feel so much better.
You drop the bad habits.
You go back
don't
to your old
You get
motor.
free.
You
Yeah.
go back to what I know.
The demons
originally.
disappear.
Don't pick
You
up the bad
don't
habits.
think about every shot. Like, you're just out there, you're playing with your mates. It's
Couldn't
And
agree.
how
bit
much?
carefree, and you enjoy it so much
do you
more.
just
Because you appreciate being out there
Yeah.
because it's been
you
so
appreciate
long.
being there, but also we talked about this Lod podcast where it's almost like you get away from the world. This is my time. Let it rain and dries. Play around and golf.
You got
Come
your 4 or
home.
5 hours
Hey,
away.
love, how you doing? Hey, how the kids and so it's almost like you get away for 4 hours, you come back. It's almost like you reset.
Yeah,
I
and
call
like
it the
you,
reset.
you hit a bad shot, you don't care.
They
But
don't
like when I was playing 3 times a week, I'd hit a bad shot and I'd crack the shits.
Yeah, 'cause
Well,
you think I'm
massively.
playing 3 times a week. I should be hitting the ball better than this.
Absolutely.
You
So,
overanalyze everything.
Expectations.
so I think, having a break and going out there and playing, every couple of weeks, it's fantastic.
Oh, mate.
You definitely, because you don't take it for granted. You enjoy it, and as you said, the bad shots aren't necessarily as bad. You're
My
just
wife's-
enjoying yourself.
Do you know what my wife said to me before you arrived? She's like, "Are you playing on Sunday?" I was like, "Well, we
And
were."
Saturday.
No, I play Saturdays. So on Sunday, right, I was meant to catch up with some family friends on the 13th, and they'd booked us in. Like, guys, go play with occasionally at PK. They're like, "I will book you in." I was like, "Look, I've got something booked in." And then that cancelled the family thing. So then she's like, "Are you playing on the weekend?" I was like, "Well, they have booked this. They have put me down," sort of thing. And she goes, "So you play?" I was like, "Well, the weather's bad." She goes,
Yeah.
Listen here, pal. If you're going to hit a white ball, fuck the weather, drink some concrete, and go and play." I was like, "Can I record this, please?"
No, that just takes me back when we played in the most horrendous conditions I've ever played golf in my life.
Mate,
I enjoyed it, but that was a horrible day of golf.
I picked what time did I pick you up? Like 4 a.m.
4 a.m. I think.
4
you
a.m.
picked me up.
drove to Barwon Heads, and it was probably the worst conditions you can have in golf.
It's actually it's windy there when it's not windy though.
But you could tell when the rain was coming.
I
'cause
pulled my umbrella out on the second, and it was inverted in about 0.37 seconds.
The thing that annoyed you the most would be like it'd be inverted for like one hole, umbrella off, play that hole, next hole inverted, and it was just on and off all day.
The worst part about that day was, I think it was about the third hole. It was when I was stepping onto the third green, I realised my jocks were wet and my socks were wet. And with wet
Game
jocks
over.
and
Do you remember
socks,
the couple we were playing with?
Back it up.
the couple we played with, they were legends. They were
Kiwi guy with his wife, and I remember this one
Where
hole.
was she from?
I don't know. She was some. You're gonna get me stitched up here. Remember that one hole where you hit a shit shot, I've hit a shit shot, and I've hit a provisional, and I've just absolutely striped the fairway, and we've gone out and couldn't find it. We're like,
Links golf in the pissing rain doesn't get any worse.
and the
Doesn't get
sad
any
part,
worse than that.
Piggy and I were like top 2 in the leaderboard going to the last 3 holes, and we chumped it.
We fell apart. I remember, I don't know if it was the 16th, might have been a par 3. I topped it, and I was like, what an idiot. I topped the ball. Then
My
mate Al stands up as a pretty much scratch golfer, tops the ball.
Mind you, we've got a
you feel
35
good?
mile an hour wind
It
coming
made-
into us.
It made me feel good. The wind was howling into us, but we ended up taking my ball.
Piggy,
I still remember
From the ladies' tee.
from the ladies' tee, pulled out my
just-
8-iron and I stuck it to 2 feet. Not a word of a lie.
Fantastic.
Not a word of a lie.
I just
Well, that's
ran
your
up.
glory moment.
I
That's your
could run
hole in
up
one.
and kissed him at that point.
That's your hole in one pick so
That
far.
was the closest thing I've had to it. It was, my jocks were so wet though.
And the worst part we got there, we go and sit in the clubhouse. Who do we sit next to? We sit next to your mates from the snowboarding industry.
Mr. Linton Miles,
Yes.
Old mate.
Capita Union.
That was a good day.
You've met,
Yeah,
you've
I
met
know,
Linton as
old
well.
boy.
It was a good day.
It's nice to catch up and have a yarn. We are, and we'll leave it as a little surprise. We'll dangle the carrot for a couple more weeks. How many times have I said that tonight? We are going to go into an establishment on the next one.
Multiple.
We've actually been
establishments.
invited
We've-
into multiple.
We're starting to get
establishments.
invited to shit, which is interesting and
And then-
refreshing.
And then I'll throw
Gets us out of
something
the
in
house
there.
too.
We're actually
Literally.
going to get the wives involved at the new establishment, where I'm a little bit nervous about this because my wife is frothing at the chops about this.
Yeah.
She's like, "Get me that mic,
I can
seriously."
see her peeping around the corner.
Mate,
now.
she wanted to
Listen.
be in this podcast. I'm actually surprised I'm still sitting here after the last podcast.
Yeah, I think. Well, all of us have we're on eggshells whether we have it at our house or whatever. But yeah, we're dabbling in a couple of establishments. Get to show people if they watch it. Get to show people around to some cool little joints around Melbourne. So stay tuned for that
if
one.
there's
But,
any establishments that would like to have us, please message the Froth King because he is the brains of this
At
organisation.
Bad Dad's Golf.
Yep.
yeah, get us on the gram. We'll come and talk shit for where are we up to now? Perth?
Don't care where it is.
45
We'll
minutes,
come to you.
45 minutes.
For
Yeah.
her. So much for your
15
30
We
minutes.
don't
too
care
long.
where it is. As long as there is this place for us to talk and the beers are flowing, we don't care.
Make sure they're cold and you got some Japanese whiskey.
Liquid crack.
Just bring a flask.
Enjoy it, lads. I'm actually having a hit on the weekend, so I'll let you know how I end up on the next
I'll
one.
tell you what, the weekend's going to be a
Can
good
we
time.
can we establish that we can
And we're not talking about.
So
we're not,
I think
no,
all
no,
three of
don't-
us need to
no,
apologise to him.
Don't
We need
bring
to
it up.
apologise to him because
Don't
we
bring it
left
up.
him on the tee on Sunday.
All right. Well, let's put it how it was. We had the four of us booked in.
I actually had to work Sunday.
1 pulled out, 2 pulled out, 3 pulled out.
Sorry, Frost. I was left.
Sorry, mate. I was the lone wolf.
It's a busy.
We
it's
need
a busy
to-
time.
we-
The
need to-
irony was when I knew, boy, did the beers flow. Like I was Saturday night. I wouldn't have been good anyway.
See,
But you know what? We're going to make up for it Saturday because we've got a couple of 4 balls going this weekend. We've got people picking the boys up. It's going to be.
Yeah,
gonna be a
I'm
day
looking
for
forward to it. But
Man, I
yeah,
wish I was a member at
hopefully I
Paddock.
can take some of that aura of like not playing for a little while because my last round was the upshot round. So hopefully I can suck a little bit of
hang
that.
on. You say it's not the upshot was last round. How many pills do you hit at work a day?
I don't actually hit that many. The boys will disagree, but I don't hit that many. We're testing a few things, but
Speaking of
I'm
hitting
not sitting
pills-
there going, "Oh, I'm 4 inside. I need to open the blade up." And,
I'm looking at installing a net or a cage in my backyard. So
Mate, you've got an acres
Cyclone
in your
fence.
backyard.
yeah, and that's why I want to set up a cage in the back. I want to get maybe a little Garmin or a little Trackman out of the back of
Just get a
someone's
full
van.
swing. Just get a full swing, mate. Just get a full swing.
Full swing.
Full swing.
I just need to hit
Doesn't
more
do
balls.
face angle, but you'll be alright.
I don't want to. I don't want to know the face angle.
yeah, anything goes straight, left to right.
Chopping down on that bitch.
As long
Well-
as it's over the top with a square face, you're fine.
I don't
We'll catch,
understand why my divot goes that way and my ball goes that way.
Yeah, it's lie angle and yeah, you're 10 outside.
I know exactly.
I'm really
what's
excited about this wife thing because my wife is going
I'm-
to tee off, mate.
I'm excited.
I'm
about
excited to see your wife.
I'm excited about the
She's
next
more
couple.
excited- she
That probably
Right, we're going to
sounded
finish
really
up.
wrong.
Yeah.
My wife talks about this podcast more than we do.
Really?
Oh, mate.
Whoa, that's a lot.
She's like, when are you doing the podcast next? Are you going to have an hour to it? What's going on? What are you talking about? I was
That's
like,
creepy.
Fucking just,
Haley listens to it by default, but I don't think she'll hear this. So hello, Haley, but you're
Oh,
not going
the
to hear
last-
this.
like I said to you
Wait,
before.
your wife name's Haley too?
Oh, yeah. Like I said to you before, the reason why I'm surprised I'm standing here, she listened to the podcast. She goes, I get a text from her, goes, just listen to the podcast.
This
Very,
part was shit.
very interesting, Alistair.
This part-
very
yeah.
interesting.
This
Yeah,
part
well,
was shit.
my
This part
wife
was shit.
and Purdy's wife were actually messaging each other after the last
Oh,
last
they
one
were.
as well.
They were.
Oh,
I was
no.
rather concerned.
Whoa.
I think you
Anyway,
said
we'll just
something.
leave that there.
We'll leave it at that. Love you, wives.
Wrap it up.
Let's
Love
play some
ya.
music. 1, 2, 3,
Boom,
bang.
boom.
See you guys.